So when I was younger, I used to fear the fact that time would pass. I used to fear the fact that I would grow up and I would be an adult. I didn't want to be an adult. I wanted to stay as a kid. I wanted to stay as a young kid without any responsibilities really in life. I know a lot of people, have the same ideas where they see what the adult world was really like and they don't want to be in it. They don't want to be an adult. They don't want to have all the responsibilities that an adult does. And I was just like that. But I realized it's because I had no purpose. I had no dreams. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't really see that far into my future as to what was happening. So it ended up becoming a thing where I didn't want to grow up. I wanted to stay as a kid. And then I started getting into professional wrestling. I started doing swimming. I found self-improvement. I started doing weightlifting. My muscles are all nice and big now. And I started realizing that I couldn't wait for time to pass. I couldn't stop myself from dreaming of being on the stage at WrestleMania 50 in the main event, winning the WWE Championship. I couldn't stop myself from seeing myself in 5 years with the biggest muscles. I couldn't stop myself from seeing myself just as a better version. And I found that I was ready. I wanted time to actually pass. I wanted things to happen because I was excited for my future. Unlike when I was a kid, when I was scared of what was going to happen. Now, a lot of people are like this for some reason. They're scared of what's going to happen in the future. They don't really want the future to happen. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why. But I hope you're not one of them. Because what happens is, when you're scared of what's going to happen in the future or not going into the future, it's because you don't really have anything that you want to do in the future. Like, for example, when a kid knows that he's going to Disney World in 3 months, the kid's going to be very, very excited for August. Let's say he's going in August. He's going to be very, very excited for August because he knows he's going to Disney World and that's a future event that he wants to happen. It's the same thing with anything else. When you have a purpose, a dream, like professional wrestling, for example, you can't wait until that thing happens. For example, going up on WrestleMania 50. I can't wait for that to happen. Even if I don't know what's going to happen yet, I can't wait for that to happen. I'm very excited because I know that I can make that happen. And it's not as for sure as going to Disney for the little kid. But knowing that you can make something happen in the future will make it so you are very, very excited for what's going to happen into the future. If you don't have anything that you want to happen in the future, you're not going to want to go to the future. But if you have things that you want to happen, you want to go to the future. And you also want to work harder for it, There's a lot of times where I'm sitting and I'm like, am I actually going to do anything right now? Am I doing anything that's going to help me? And I end up doing something because I'm scared that I'm not going to make it in those situations. So, being excited for the future is very, very important. But this is something that I talk about a lot. The most important tool, the most important asset that we have when improving ourselves is time. Because we don't improve ourselves in 2 months and then suddenly, we're flexing on everybody. We got the super big muscles and everything like that. No. It takes months, if not years, to improve yourself, to be good. It takes our entire life to improve ourselves. So the best part about self-improvement is time because it takes time. But we also get to watch ourselves become something better. 4 months ago, I didn't have as big muscles as I do now. Heck, 2 months ago I didn't. But seeing myself start February of 2023, super down about what I was doing, seeing my muscles grow, seeing myself last year when I was on the swim team and how I looked then compared to seeing myself this year and how I look now. I get so proud of everything that I've done, all the work that I've put in, because even if it's not the biggest changes in the world, seeing myself grow, even slowly, is so, so gratifying. You know, I made a video on enjoying just the present, you know, keeping your mind focused on the present. But I think that it is very nice to look forward into the future and be excited for yourself. Especially if you can look into the future and it's not fear, it's not anxiety, it's excitement and happiness. That's a really good thing. You know, I find myself a lot dreaming about what the future can be. Finding those things that I want to do. You know, it can be a wife, it can be kids, it can be a job, it can be anything that you want. But having something that you want in the future will want to make you work for it. You know, it will want to make you stop at nothing to achieve it, to try your hardest to gain ground on your goal in any way possible. And it was just like me, you know. When I started really getting into wrestling, you know, like I've been a fan of wrestling since I was 6, but really getting into it and really wanting to do it, I searched for months to find a pro wrestling school near me. You know, me and my mom, we searched for months looking for schools that had pro wrestling and looking for things near me and ways to get to those schools. And eventually we came to the conclusion that there were no wrestling schools that I could feasibly go to as of now. But even then we started searching for wrestling, for like Greco-Roman wrestling schools that I could go to, because it's the next best thing. And we started searching for schools that would help with, you know, teenage beginners and everything like that. And we eventually found one because we stopped at nothing to achieve trying to gain ground on that goal. You know, life is too short to worry about what is to come in your future. But you can worry about what you can do now. You know, instead of worrying about, oh, am I going to be the best wrestler ever? I can start worrying about, can I make myself better today? And when I start doing that, not only does it calm me down because I'm not worrying about something that's 10, 20 years away, I'm giving myself control back. I'm saying, well, I can make myself better today, and I'm giving myself a reason to work today. Now, if you don't have a purpose, there's a problem. If you don't have a purpose, you have no reason to work. So what I tell you to do is to remove yourself from the world and kind of sit for a while. Think of what angers you, what you desire most, what you think is wrong with the world. And then find what you like to do and what do you think will help you. And this doesn't take like 5 minutes. This might take days. This might take weeks. But what happens is everything around you is putting in another purpose. You know, they're kind of forcing in their own purpose into you. Your parents, they might want you to become a doctor. And so they start telling you how to become a doctor and they want you to do this. They're trying to force their purpose into you. Maybe you see a superhero on TV that's an engineer. Now you want to be an engineer even though in reality you don't really like engineering. It's again another thing that's getting forced into you. You need to break away from all of that. Sit with yourself and be true to yourself. What do I actually want to do with my life? What actually interests me? And use that instead. You know, you don't have to find your biggest purposes right away. There's going to be times where you think you found your purpose and you haven't. There's going to be uncertainties. You know, I still have uncertainties. Maybe I won't like professional wrestling. Maybe I don't like training people in fitness. But trying to find that purpose, letting it come naturally, but trying to help it along is very, very, very important. You know, one of my favorite quotes ever is that there's no stopping time. Time will always pass. The most important part is that you use that time. Because if you don't use that time, it will leave and you'll never get it back. Which is why I always tell you guys to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Hope this video helped. Love you guys. Bye-bye.